took that adversity into an opportunity. Can you share with us how did that come into? All right, we know that you met with someone who had a multi-million-dollar marketing firm. So how did you say, okay, I'm going to pivot, or I'm going to do this marketing thing along with my 9 to 5 agency? And then how did you find your place, your niche in that marketing agency vertical?
Sure. So I officially launched my business May 2019. So it was May 2019 that I officially launched my business. I remember like it was yesterday, LegalZoom.com just started it, right? Went, got the paperwork. I had an official LLC with the state of California where I began this agency. And that was a big deal for me because that felt official. Like that was, this is not me. I had no clients before that. I had no portfolio. Literally, that was, I just went and started my LLC as a way of telling myself this is a real thing that I'm doing, right? That was a real step. Now it's okay, let me figure out how to build a business, right? So that was a little bit challenging. What I began to do was I began to go to like these networking events in the morning. So like I think they were called Le Tip. I don't even know if they still do those. I'm pretty sure they do. But it's basically where people from different industries would meet like once a week and they would basically get each other leads for a particular business. So I began to go and find these different groups and just said, "Hey, I got my business. I had a logo, right? I had business cards, and I'm just networking, trying to see if I can get any business." In one of those meetings, I end up coming in contact with an individual who also had a marketing agency. So obviously I couldn't join that group, but he was like, "Hey, let's meet. I think I can help you." He literally said he felt like God told him to reach out to me.
Wow.
And this guy, he's got a faith background. He's definitely like really involved in his church, and he had been running an agency, I think, upwards of like 13 years or so. So he had been in the industry for a long time, like back when before YouTube and Facebook and things like that. So he had been in the industry for a long time. So he ended up saying, "Hey, I want to like mentor you, so to speak." And I was like, "Wow, like that's crazy." So he ended up giving me access to a community that he was a part of marketers. He ended up giving me access to training on how to fulfill many different
All this
marketing
was for
things.
free?
Pretty much. I guess what his thing was if I go and get new business, we would like split the revenue from that particular piece of business. So like let's say let we run a marketing campaign for a lawyer, right? We'll submit the thing for the lawyer and then we would split the revenue from it. So it was more like a partnership opportunity. It wasn't anything like official or signed, but he kind of saw it as an opportunity to if I help this guy and he gets new business, we can it's another revenue stream for me. So that was sort of the idea. And it actually really worked. We end up getting like for instance, we end up doing a campaign for a realtor down in San Francisco, off of a Craigslist ad of all things, right? That we end up, I mean, it wasn't the best. We got her a lot of leads, but she still complained about them. Um, that's another story, but
Yeah,
it was
it's
an opportunity to
it's not
kind
the
of
leads, it's the follow up.
exactly. We end up getting that, and then just like kind of little things like we ended up. I think there were a couple other businesses that we ended up working with as a part of that agreement. The training was invaluable. It kind of allowed me to see what this was like, from a real operational standpoint. And it gave me a lot of information that I really needed, right? To begin to see, like, okay, this is how you build, retainers. This is how you build the systems of fulfillment. And this is how you communicate with clients, et cetera, et cetera. So having that mentorship was really important. And I really, really believe in finding people that could help you, when you're first starting anything. That's like a huge shortcut. And honestly, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't even be close to where I'm at now. Like that was a very, very important piece. That was the first part. So that was just like a few months into it, like just going out there and communicating with people, connecting with people. And that was how I was able to start. So it wasn't anything sustainable. Like, obviously, I'm still working my job. Like, I'm doing this before work, after work. That's sort of how that went. The pandemic happens right after that, which the church that I was working at the time began to shut down a lot of their operations. So it allowed me an opportunity to really my, tap into my business and really begin to figure out other ways of doing it and other ways of like really growing it. And that's really what I saw it as. Like, this is an opportunity I can really tap in and see what I can do with my business. In 2020, I really began to like see like, how do I get new clients? So I'm on Upwork, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on all of these various places trying to get new leads. But this is where things begin to click, because when you first start anything, you're just looking for anybody that will pay you, right? You are looking for anyone that will give you an opportunity to earn a little bit of money. I forgot to mention too, a big place where I got a lot of my clients was from Toastmasters. So I joined a Toastmasters in Sacramento. And through that, I developed a lot of relationships because I shared a lot of what I was doing marketing wise with people in that group. And that allowed me to gain community where I was able to get business. Even at my church, I was able to find people who were interested in my services. So it's really about relationships. At the end of the day, I think for both of us, we both can say it was relationships that really allowed us to start and to sustain and to scale. Just connecting with people. And when you have a community around you and you know how to, add value to that community, that's where you're going to be able to find success. But going back to when the pandemic happened, this is where things began to click, because I was really general and I was really broad in terms of my services. But when I said I'm going to focus on churches, because again, church was really impacted by COVID, right? COVID really impacted churches where people were not able to come in person. Pastors were trying to figure out how to reach their people online, how to communicate with their people online. And I have a background in church. I've been working in churches, so I really understand the space. And I'm really able to work and connect with those people who are in that space. So I said, you know what? Let me focus my attention on churches. Let me see how I can reach out to pastors and let them know what I can offer them to help them during this time. And when I began to do that, and I channeled my messaging on all the different platforms that I was at, whether it was Upwork, whether it was LinkedIn, and even Indeed, one big thing that a lot of people don't understand, especially like if you're doing something in the digital space, Indeed, one, it's free.
Yeah.
Two, one thing that I learned, this is something really big when I was really trying to find business. When you're like advertising on Facebook and a lot of these other platforms, there's not like a lot of people who are on those platforms, they're not necessarily
They're not coming
looking
for that. Yeah.
they're not looking for that on that particular platform. Like they might say, they might be interested after they see your ad, but that's still kind of a cold lead because that's not what they were on there looking for. But if you go on Upwork, they're looking for a particular service that you're offering.
Yeah.
So I have a huge thing on Upwork and I'm constantly applying for different contracts. And especially the fact that I really specified my offer to churches, a lot of people from that particular industry were looking for my services. So it was a win-win. And when they see that's what I specialize in, they're going to choose me over somebody who is more of a generalist. But then even Indeed, a lot of times people think that's just people looking for, careers. A lot of times people are looking to contract on Indeed. And these contracts could be massive. You're talking $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month. You didn't even have to pay for that lead. If you apply for those contracts, a lot of times, and you can communicate the same way you would communicate like on Upwork or another platform similar, you can get massive contracts that will allow you to be sustainable. So when I kind of put all of that together, I was really able to scale my business to a really healthy six-figure rate in a pretty quick amount of time.
So that's a lot right there. Okay. So that jewel of getting the game for free, going to Indeed, take that, put it in your pocket. I'm telling you, you can make some really good money by finding some contract positions, some virtual positions on Indeed. So that's phenomenal that you gave that jewel. And again, meetups, Toastmasters, all those things are places where you meet people with similar mindsets that want to grow, that want to develop, and they have an abundance mindset, which is why that initial mentor that you met there, yes, you couldn't be part of the group because they want one person from each industry, but he didn't see you as a competitor or enemy. He was like, oh, this kid, he's trying to start up. I've been in it for a long time. I could give him some game, and I could get compensated for that.
Right.
So that's a win-win. He learns, he develops. I earn through him without all that labor. I could give him some knowledge. So that's beautiful. That when you're with the people that have that type of mindset, you will grow faster because they're willing to pour into you. And if you're willing to receive it and say, okay, I don't have to have everything. I'll give you a portion of my labor for the education that you're giving me. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.